We have made it to the third hour of the show. Thank you for sticking it through. And this is what you can expect. Maker Rubo, who's a nutritionist and holistic health specialist, has unveiled that is the Method app. Okay, just yesterday. So the app is basically centered on helping you discover, whole body harmony and holistic wellness, bringing together mindful nutrition and transformative well-being, in one seamless experience. How cool is that? So Michael Rubo will be here to talk to us about this app that was launched yesterday, the Method app. And then also we have invited that is senior registered nurse and epidemiologist Rosalia Pengeyo, and she will be here to talk to us, on sexually transmitted diseases, STDs, and how it can be treated. Okay, so I suggest you don't skip that. These are conversations we need to have, all right? Then also occupational therapist Patricia Pretorius, as well as the chairperson of the Wheelchair Basketball Federation, Mitch Dewald, will also be here to share some more on, giving wheelchair users an adaptive self-defense training and the tools to protect themselves and build confidence and, take control of their personal safety, all right? Very important conversations once again, so quick break and then we meet again here. And we continue with some more health conversations here this morning. Now, despite being common and in many cases, treatable or preventable, STDs remain shrouded in secrecy as well as misinformation. Okay, now joining us here this morning to talk about STDs and so on is senior registered nurse as well as epidemiologist Rosalia Pengeyo. Ma'am, a very, very good morning to you. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Very well. It's very nice to have you. Thank you for making time for us.
Thank you.
Right. I think before we continue, there was something so interesting in your title earlier when we did say, we introduced you as a registered nurse, obviously, but also you epidemiology. You studied that.
Yes.
What does that entail? What are we studying when we're studying epidemiology?
Thank you, and thank you for the question. An epidemiologist is somebody that specializes in outbreaks, in diseases, in trends. So we would then study statistics, analyze, and for example, I could give if we have any outbreak of any certain disease. So epidemiologists are the ones that are sent to these fields to then study what is happening, understand how many people are affected and how they can help. So that's basically it, if I can round it up.
If we can sum it up like that. No, thank you very much. It was just, all these terms, and I think there's and I appreciate this platform so much because we also learn a lot, Epidemiology, very interesting. All right, now let's get back to our conversation about STDs, also a very important one, and I think there was a key word that stood out in the overview there when we spoke about secrecy and misinformation, but particularly secrecy still around STDs, But maybe you can start by telling Namibia, how common are STDs?
Thank you so much for that question again. STDs, which are sexually transmitted diseases, are common globally and in Namibia. And according to the World Health Organization, we have about 1 million of cases daily reported. And this
worldwide,
is not worldwide.
On a global scale.
Yes.
Yo.
So, and that includes Namibia. So it is something that we all should be concerned about because these cases are on an increase on a daily basis. And it has got it is affecting both age groups, irregardless of the gender and the background. So yes, it is a topic of concern.
Definitely. I had no idea it was that staggering, hey?
Yes.
What are the most common symptoms, Madam Pengeyo, that people should be watching out for as we speak about sexually transmitted diseases?
Sexually transmitted diseases don't usually show common and visible signs and symptoms. However, if there are signs and symptoms, you are looking at things such as urinary burning, sensation while urinating. You are also looking at bumps, pimples, or sores around the genital area. You are speaking of
No, say.
Yeah. You are speaking of, it's words that I cannot say out, but yes, you are speaking of abdominal pain, abdominal cramps. However, in women, they would also experience painful sexual intercourse. They can also experience irregular bleeding.
Is it?
Yes.
So those are some of the symptoms.
Yes.
Now, ma'am, why would you think or say, that there's still so much stigma around STDs? Just having this conversation. And I'm saying this again, it's conversations we need to have. It's the realities. You just mentioned the rate at which it's increasing. We just looked at numbers. It's a lot. And this does not exclude Namibia, as this STDs are increasing, the rate that is increasing at, Why are we why are we not talking about STDs enough?
One could say there is so much that is connoted around STDs. We are speaking of fear, we are speaking of shame, we are speaking of misinformation around it, and that's why awareness is quite important. So that stigma is brought about, the fear and the shame and the misinformation within the population. So if we could raise awareness about STDs, we will actually decrease the cases. Yes.
Interesting. Despite now the availability of, testing and treatment and so on, why is it increasing? The rise, the numbers, why are they so alarming? What would you say from your perspective? What are we doing wrong as individuals?
I would say because of the signs and symptoms, I could be infected, but I wouldn't basically know if I don't do regular testing. So one is also looking at how people, the sexual behavior, the sexual pattern of individuals, and then that also includes the inconsistent use of condoms. So that could be one of the things, and not just playing it safe, not abstaining. So those are the few factors that would then contribute to the increasing. Yes.
You did mention awareness earlier. And I was just saying, I think there is a lack, not a lack thereof, I think we need to do more of that. How? How would you say, if you would given tomorrow, they're like, senior nurse, registered nurse, giving you X amount of budget, come up with a campaign for us. How would you create awareness around STDs?
You have actually just touched the spot that I'm passionate about.
Is it?
And that is health promotion. And under health promotion, you would find health education. So I believe that an informed community will make informed decisions. So I will then target health education. Educate, start from the young ones, and it continues that way. So health education will be my priority.
Interesting.
Yes.
Okay, there's a very interesting question that I also have for you, whether you think that society would treat STD different, if they affected more people visibly, like chicken pox, for instance, or the flu. What are your thoughts?
That's a very interesting one, but definitely yes, because STDs are internal and they are not externally seen. People tend to not take them that serious. They don't take regular tests because of that. And if one puts into their mind that your health is your concern, you would actually see the seriousness of testing, and then also finding out more information rather than the misinformation that is within the community. So you are looking at just having people to test, regular testing that should be done, awareness, and the misinformation to be.
I quickly want to touch on the misinformation. What are the most common misconceptions, misinformation surrounding STDs?
You are looking at people saying you can get it from sitting on a toilet pot, which then from a toilet pot you don't get an STD, you get an STI, which is a sexually transmitted infection and not the sexually transmitted disease.
Is that right?
So when we are looking at the sexually transmitted diseases, you are looking at syphilis, gonorrhea, and HIV, which are for people that are actually active. Yes.
So the STIs are like urinary tract infections, for example, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay. No, thank you for also clearing that up. And plus, you just answered the other question that I was going to have. If you can name some of the most common STDs, and you also did that, madam. Very interesting. On a final note from your side, what would you like to tell the Namibian nation right now?
Take care of yourself. Your health should be your concern. And let's take note that STDs are preventable and treatable. And we start by silencing the stigma. and it starts with us.
It starts with us.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Madam Pengeyo, for being here in studio with us this morning. Thank you for your time. I have to mention that she was actually working night shift and she's here. So yeah, we really appreciate you being here. Thank you. Thank you so much. There you have it, Namibia registered senior registered nurse and epidemiologist, that is Rosalia Pengeyo, here in studio with us, talking to us about sexually transmitted diseases. All right, very, 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 very important conversation. As we've just mentioned, there's so much stigma still around STDs. You know, there's a lot. There's misinformation surrounding this. And, you know, we're so uncomfortable talking about these things, but it's conversations that need to be had. All right. So if you can, please just, you know, try and practice safe sex, but most importantly, do visit, that is, your doctor.